Hi, everyone. I'm Amy, your Hidden Consumers expert, and today we're going to talk about the upcoming webinar that's launching in January 2026, January 15th to be exact. It's called What is on Your Table, or What's on Your Table. I'm going to give you some information right now. We're going to break it down. I mentioned this briefly last week. This week, since then, I've gone through and I've changed out some of the topics I was going to talk about, added more information to help you understand what we're going to be talking about in these webinars. So if you're curious, you want to learn more, go ahead, scan that QR code, and it will take you directly to the What's on Your Table information and registration form. In the meantime, I'm going to just go ahead and share my screen, and we are going to jump right in. So here we go. We'll go this way. All right, so with the What's on Your Table, what we're doing is I'm going to be decoding ingredients, but it's not just about ingredients. It's about how do these ingredients impact our bodies. Not everybody is allergic to ingredients, but we are showing sensitivities, and science has shown us that everything from kidney failure to heart disease to chronic inflammation, chronic pain can all be impacted immensely by the food we're eating. And according to Scientific American, 60% of the food we eat is consumed through ultra processed foods. And that's really where the problem is. And that's what we're going to be discussing in What's on Your Table. So, a couple of things. It's not just about food. In my process and my journey, and if you read the book, The Hidden Consumer, or thinking about it, it's available on Kindle now. Yay! The ebook issues got fixed. It's available on ebook. You don't have to buy a physical copy if you don't want one. We haven't done we'll be doing a huge launch around that. So if you're waiting for a different price, just hang on, I'll get there one thing at a time. But it is out and it's out on Kindle. But if you've read the book, you know my journey isn't just about food. I had to clean out my kitchen cabinets, and I'm not talking food related here. I am talking about everything from my dinnerware to how my cooking utensils, everything, even dishcloths had to go away. My dish soap had to go away. Why? What is it? And here's the thing, our food, our cleaning ingredients, how we make our products, our clothing, they all have the same ingredients. Yes, the pesticides being put on the field have some of the same ingredients of the food you're eating in ultra processed foods. We're going to decode all that and help and show you where you can find things, but also I'm going to give you the tips and tricks that I use every time I have to walk into a store and try to find something healthy. Like, it's next to impossible for me because I'm allergic to everything. You don't have that problem, but that doesn't mean we can't help you in understanding how to eat healthier when you want to, right? I get it. It's expensive. I absolutely understand. I have my own journey with pricing and food and depending on ultra processed foods, which is what got me into this position to begin with. So that is really the ball of wax here, what we're going to be talking about. So I have changed out some of the listings. There is still one I'm debating on, and that is October 15th. I'm looking at talking about trick-or-treating alternatives. What could you give out instead of candy? I have not given out candy in 5 years. People don't seem to mind. I make it fun. Last year was rubber duckies. I still had mini rubber duckies left over, so I played with it. When people came up for trick or treating, I had this fun little game I played with them. I'm say, you can have the treat of a mini rubber ducky, or you can have the trick of the spell book. And the spell book was one of those, Halloween spell books. You open it up and you could have your candy inside. Yeah, I had glow in the dark stickers of like skeletons and ghosts and cats and witches and stuff like that. But I made it fun, right? It's not just about here you go, here you go. I enjoy the season. And so I dress up. I am out there. I even posted my Halloween get up this year. So I enjoy it. However, I don't know if anybody else would find that as appealing as I do. So I am debating on, does October become the how to talk to your medical professional about your problem? I've been dealing with, obviously you go in every 6 months for a dental appointment if you can afford it. And my dentist just rolls his eyes at me every time, and they question everything, and there's no way because, of course, they were given that same mindset that the medical most medical teams are, is that you can't be allergic to corn. The corn lobby told us you can't be allergic because that's a gold standard right there. It's not. Just so you know, it's not. So what I do here is I'm really talking to people and so that's an option. Let me rephrase. That is an option. I am looking at is how do we talk about our food sensitivities and the things we're reacting to with medical professionals that just have no concept or clue around how the food around us is impacting our bodies. Like, it blows me every time that my dentist doesn't understand that when you have a food allergy and your total body is reacting to this allergen, that it's not gonna impact some of the softest tissues in your mouth. Like, do you not understand the connection between, like, and yeah, a lot of my stuff does fall into the oral allergy category, bloody gums, things like that. If I ingest something or bite into something that has corn in it, that means swelling. It means gingivitis. It means I have a whole slew of other issues because of what's in my food. And it's when first place it goes is your mouth. Like to me, I guess we live with it daily. It's so surprising that medical teams don't get this. So every 6 months, I have to go through the drill with whoever I'm working with. This is the situation. This is why it does qualify as an oral allergen. But do other people have that issue? I don't know. I don't know. So that's why October 15th, I'm like, do we talk about trick or treating? Or do we talk about having more fun and less fun, maybe? Being sarcastic here, I guess. So that's the thing. November will continue to be how to handle the holidays. If you, again, read the book, you know that I have a huge issue with holidays. I really don't celebrate them anymore. You can see behind me, I enjoy decorating. I enjoy the seasons. But when it comes time to literally having to be in the presence of other people or even family, given what I've been through over the last decade, to me, it doesn't matter anymore. So I will definitely bring a different perspective. So if you have people in your household who are coming to you with food issues or sensitivities, how do you handle that as the host? And if you're the guest, how do you handle that? What is an expectation you can of responsibility you can place on the host, and how much do you just really need to take on yourself? So that's really where that one's going to come down. Everything else, I am breaking apart. All the fun stuff, right? So we definitely are going to be talking about. So in January, it's going to be the basics. How do we decode all this information? How do we look? What are the quick tips and tricks to understanding how to read the back of a package? February, I'm tying this into perimenopause, menopause, and chronic pain. In my journey, again, if you read the book, chronic pain has been a major part of my life. Being diagnosed at the age of 2 by the Children's Hospital in Fargo, North Dakota, with migraines and seizures, epilepsy, that whole ball of wax I was diagnosed with. So, and now as I am, I think I'm into my 8th year with perimenopause. And my chronic pain, food has had a huge impact on how those symptoms are in my body. Everybody is going to have a different situation, but I want to bring in and really talk about, is the food you're eating really impacting your health in different ways that you never thought of? Is it making your pain worse? We know ultra processed foods really do increase inflammation throughout the body. Now, in my case, I have complex regional pain syndrome type 1, also known as reflex sympathetic dystrophy syndrome. And I also have primary lymphedema. Now, both of these are are connected to connected to chronic inflammation. CRPS, it immediately creates a barrier to protect itself because my sympathetic nervous system does not function the way it's supposed to. So my body always thinks I'm in pain. Problem is, Swelling is a natural way your body protects you, right? So I will get inflammation in my left arm, and then all of a sudden I will have actual pain because there's too much inflammation. So my body creates more inflammation, right? So it's just this nasty cycle. But what I realized on my journey is the food I was eating was actually making that worse. So as I reduced my allergen, which was really these foods that are being scientifically proven to create inflammation, is my pain levels started to drop significantly. And that was probably the biggest surprise out of everything that came out of it. With perimenopause, most people are surprised I'm in perimenopause and my symptoms are nowhere near my friends. And I know a lot of my friends, they can't they depend they just ultra processed foods are just what they eat. There no one really thinks about it. But reality is if you use my food tracking journal, you could track when you eat an ultra processed food, which is everything from yogurt to chicken nuggets to your frozen food. Yes, yogurt is a processed food, and I in the January session will decode and I'll show you why. But here's the thing, all of those things are impacting your health in ways on a day-to-day basis you may not realize, and that's what we're going to really deep dive into. Now, starting March, we're going to start really going into more of the actual food products. So there'll be a session per type of food. Coffee and tea. I'm a huge coffee and tea drinker. Coffee is one of those things I refuse to give up. And if you go into August, Amy's top three foods she fought to keep: coffee, chocolate, and wine. So we'll bring coffee back, but it won't be as detailed. So for me, again, it's one of those things where I hear everyone has to quit drinking coffee. And I'm like, I get it. Like there's caffeine, but there's other things. But is it because we're drinking basically ultra processed coffee like Keurigs? Or is it because you're still drinking those single origin coffees, family or farm raised, imported differently and not off a store shelf, that you have to give up? And if that confuses you, you need to be in this session, and I will walk you through that. I'll even give you a variety of people you could talk to about ordering coffee if you want to try it. April 16th, how to find meat and what to avoid. There is so much confusion around meat. I was just in a networking group and we were talking about Thanksgiving, and everyone's like, oh, the turkey is so gross. Nobody eats turkey anymore, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, great. I do eat turkey on a regular basis still because I know how to shop for turkey, and none of my meat comes from a grocery store. That's the other big key. So we're going to talk about that, but it's not just the meat, it's the packaging and the processing of your meat from corporate farms into the grocery store that is a bigger issue. So we're going to talk about that as well. May, I really want to break down the vocabulary of clean, healthy, natural, because really there is no legal meaning behind those. So what is it you as a consumer can do to protect yourself? So we're going to dive into that. June, skincare and body care, everything from deodorant to shampoo, conditioner to moisturizers. They are impacting your health and potentially causing inflammation as well as other things to your body. So we're going to break down, I'm going to show you examples of what I use, what those ingredient labels look like compared to what you could buy in a store. And I will compare things like Elf and CoverGirl, Maybelline, and then we'll compare them to like Bobbi Brown and Lancome and Clinique. And I'm going to show you you're not buying what you think you're buying. So we're going to go through and we'll talk about what that means and how you can better protect your skin, but also what that means for what's the long-term effect. And I will walk you through my process of what I had to do because I didn't have a choice, and what my recovery from buying the cheap products and using products like I was a huge Lancome, Clinique, Estee Lauder person. I used CoverGirl. I used Maybelline. Some of my other favorite products I would have to buy at Sephora, and I can't think of them, like Urban Decay and the fun stuff. None of them were good for me. Nothing I just listed is safe. So why? Why are these products? And some of them said, we are clean, we're healthy. So it'll tie in nicely to May. And then we do talk about cosmetics in July. So that was June and July in one shot. August, my top three things, what I fought for, what I had to do to keep coffee, tea, chocolate, and wine in my diet, and what that meant I had to find. I went 2 to 3 years without any of them because it was that hard of a find, and again, it's gonna go back to what do those labels look like? And no, there's even less today on the market than there was when I was initially going through this. A lot of my safe products that I could buy 5 years ago are no longer available in this country. So what does that mean for the consumer who thinks they're eating chocolate that's healthy for them? We're gonna break that down. September, because I put together a cookbook sampler, I realized that my substitutions might be important for other people to get into. So with September, maybe you're starting to think about what, baking for the holidays or whatever else that's coming up. You might find this fascinating. So I do not use baking powder, baking soda. I don't use cornstarch, corn syrup, or corn flour for obvious reasons. But I have to bake differently, and I had a quiche this morning. It was divine, so much better than what I buy in the stores. Not as good as the one I had in Strasbourg, France, an actual Lorraine quiche, but it was only the first time making it. I think we can get there. It's gonna come down to getting a little bit more fluff right. So that is what's on your table, and that is really what we're gonna be talking about, is we're gonna break down some of these basic things that most people don't realize. We take a lot on good faith. One really is just marketing sleight of hands to make us buy their products. I wanna destroy those myths, and I really wanna help you as the hidden consumer find products you're comfortable buying and are doing better. You're not gonna be able to do what I do on a daily basis. I don't expect anybody to eat or live the way I do, but I do want you to have the information to understand how everything in your environment is gonna be impacting your health. And when we say impacting your health, it really comes down to, would you rather put the cost into food or would you rather put the cost into your medical bills? And sometimes we don't have a choice. It is what it is, and I understand. I want you to have the information, so if you do get a point where you have a little bit of a choice, you can make the choice that is gonna be healthier for you and your family, and not just because the packaging said it's sugar-free or we're clean. Yeah. I will warn you, one of the ingredient labels I will be showing you for the clean, healthy one in May will be a company that claims their entire brand is clean, and yet one product has 12 pages of ingredients. That's not clean by anybody's standards. Again, it's that marketing sleight of hand. Ooh, look, we're going to tell you this, but really we're going to put all the crap in it, but we're going to make you believe it's healthy for you, so you'll just buy it. And unfortunately, people fall for it. So I want to help you understand what that marketing group is doing to you and how you can avoid being taken in by marketing sleight of hands. So with that, isn't it great? I'm a former marketing person. I'm going to just use it to my advantage. So with that, thank you all for hanging out. I will see you next week. I will be doing weekly lives. I'm getting back into that flow again, but lots of fun stuff coming up. I'm really excited. So again, if you haven't bought the book, the ebook is officially available at Amazon. Yay! I was so excited. I forgot to thank someone for buying the book because they told me that they bought the ebook. And I'm like, wait, what? It's available? So much to do. I have like a whole list to do now. So anyways, thank you all. I appreciate you. Have a great day and think about what's on your table and how can I help